Keep telling myself that I don't care. I don't care. I don't care, 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 I don't care. While sat in this dusty old armchair, I don't care. But I really do care. I can't stop caring. I'm getting distracted by what I'm wearing in front of a mirror that is a depiction of how I'm faring. And I'm just staring because I'm too scared. Or thinking I'm making an impact by sharing a Facebook video that has as much significance as to make no difference. But I do care. This fallacy that we have for our reality is one of decadence, and our response is petulance. We moan about the state of the earth and do nothing to improve it. All we do is abuse it. We don't care. We just go from season to season with no moral compass or societal reason, which in the end will leave us all freezing, because we bow down to a controlling, greedy, conniving, sinister cabal, which we want to resist but we appease them. I truly hate the top shots who give me a blood clot thinking they know what's what while talking like robots. Those constant repetitive sounds that go all around, but they don't resonate with the underground. This is a place where those words create error page 404 not found. So go ask your physician for another prescription, or ask our media or leaders permission that's got more focus on division and bases its basis on the races and places and war-torn countries and religion. Anything they say to distract from suspicion, or we just act with ever-failing wisdom that never seems to make a valid decision, a continuous rendition of a surging mental condition that wants to put people like Assange in prison? For showing the world the corruption and lies that seems to leave us watching a screen with eyes glued unmoving, mindset paralysed, with saviours that are demonised, heroes that are chastised, but waterboard a terrorist because he fights for a different size. But as long as we get our french fries in supersize, or give people like Henry Kissinger or Obama a Nobel Peace Prize, we conform to a system that doesn't listen and leaves us despised for standing up for the victims and the disenfranchised. There seems to be no time to stop or start from this river that we should disembark, that leads an ever-growing tarnished mark and stains our minds with false truths and hearts dark. So I'm worried as I'm walking along a battered pier, thinking I might disappear because I'm overcome with the fear about whether my life will get better if I change career, but is it worth it with a future so unclear? I'm part of a country that pleads innocence at the death of infants, while it harbours ignorance and ambivalence to other nations with a cultural difference. There is no penance when a country acts without common sense, and as our dollars turn from notes to cents and we have to decide whether to buy food or pay rent, who is it that you think will resent? It'll be the poor at the bottom. Couldn't possibly be the 1%. This is a sorry state of affairs that keeps me drinking anything to escape from thinking. I walk each day battered and bruised from a media's hammering that leaves me stammering, lost, dazed and confused. So give me more antibiotics, or send me to the subtropics. Let me smoke more hydroponics, or view some more GIFs and hot topics while forgetting my humanity through rum, whiskey, red wine, vodka, sambuca, tequila and homemade gin tonics. Because I do care. I feel like I'm going to break down from the disparity that I see all around. I hate listening to an MP's diatribe trying to tell me what's wrong and what's right. This world is tearing at the seams and we're too focused on sports teams, rather than wrestling with big business that lives out each day on stolen dreams. Everything is just getting worse. Is this just mankind's curse to see which country can destroy the world first? Let me ask you a question. How many brothers have to die? How many sisters have to die? How many fathers, uncles, cousins, aunties and mothers have to die? How many animals have to die? How many fish have to die? How many coral reefs, trees and compassionate beliefs have to die before we do care? I understand that we must keep working that 9 to 5 to stay alive in this concrete beehive so we don't have to remind ourselves the true reasons why. I understand the sickness of hearing a rich person's validation when there's no justification for the racist, bigoted, classist exploitation that affects the whole population. The justice system has inherent discrimination. If you're poor, you get incarceration. If you're rich, you might as well go on vacation. And it's this unfair segregation that's met with such indignation. This creates separation and instigates the demonstration on your street, because it's another repeat of a man without shoes on his feet who got shot running from the police on their daily beat. The people want vindication, and all they get is victimization, and it's systemic across the whole nation. Fairness and justice doesn't even enter the conversation. But is it really surprising when there's no remorse, while we're tied to a cause that will never pause in its search for perpetual wars? Or puts a celebrity divorce on the front page, paper prison with paper bars, advertisement for products, makeup, new hair, fast cars? Illusions of ink that enslave the many, inflated status gained by pretty penny? But at what cost? How far down in naivety till we're lost? There's a cabal at the top, the secretive head shop, that can abuse the armed forces to start wars for resources, and the banking system endorses while the media reinforces. So if I become the conduit that pushes science, intelligence, fairness, humanity and reason before profit, will I cop it? If that is the case, then so be it. I am prepared to be displayed as if I've been radicalized as a monster to the world that I despise, because I prefer truth over lies, victims over picking sides, helping those beneath the breadlines who have been ostracized. Or is it because I sympathize with a child's deadened eyes, because I understand that he lives each day with no reprise from planes in the skies, seen too many limped arms hung to the floor from bedsides, because the killing for land and oil has its own price? We've caused the death of half his family and friends, watched on as they met different ends. No apology is good enough to make amends, while we attack with jets, drones, tanks against a limited defence. He now lives in the ruins of his old home, too scared to go outside alone, with a childhood spent wishing he was older, wishing he wouldn't have to make graves out of boulders, always alert and constantly stressed, blank look, unkempt, unclean, empathy repressed, and there won't be an inquest, just another town wiped from a map, destroyed by the West. He'll cast a cold shoulder, and as time goes on and his heart gets colder, how long before he becomes a fanatical foot soldier, ready to die for a cause with a grenade in each hand, ready to make a stand, ready to reach the promised land by laying down his life in the sun-scorched sand? Another suicide attack against civilians. Was it cowardly? Probably. But would I be any different if I lost half my family? Because we in the West play a dangerous game when we turn our back on a humanitarian crisis that indirectly causes impressionable teens to join ISIS, because we have more interest in 5 seconds of fame or glorifying war through a computer game. But don't look at us, we're not to blame. It's not our fault if their country goes down in flames. They should have been born in our country, with our religion, have a westernized name. The true criminals don't have hoodies or knives in bags. They wear suits, Louis Vuitton shoes and smoke Dunhill fags. They're controlling from the shadows, deserving of the gallows. They're capricious and malevolent, have insidious and hideous intent, and we live on their time spent, as the vicious system batters down our homes with no relent. Foreclosure for the parent whose bills have become hills after all their money's been spent, and you wonder why there's social discontent from the people who can't vent their fears at the thought of being poor or the risk of changing careers, who can't support their children on both of their wages, and the future seems bleak on newspaper pages. We're just distracted by the lives of the famous who may talk about the problems but have no answers to the dangers, and where conforming stories are selected to embellish and enlarge, but ones that don't are hushed or quietened. So save me from the unfairness of wrong place, wrong time. Another citizen below the poverty line got caught doing a crime because he needed to pay his rent on time. Spare me the moral anecdotes given to us by cutthroats that have more love for banknotes than antidotes for the starving millions, because their lives don't seem to matter, sway or change opinions. Spare me the disingenuous beliefs that more wars, submarines and bombs bring peace, and realise the loss of even a single life from either side signifies a defeat. You can't win when somebody dies. Can't win a war when it's based on lies. Because the truth will always come out. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, maybe not in a few years, but in the end someone will speak. And when they do, the ghosts of our past will be shown to haunt us. The lies that we had spurned will be justified to taunt us. We'll have to live with the hypocrisies that we were taught, the horrors and terrors that we have brought, the continuous battles that we have fought, and the lives that were given but counted for naught, and all because it was power for the few that was sought. I hope in my lifetime that these criminals get caught. But I doubt it. It doesn't seem to matter. It may create waves on internet chatter, but for having this viewpoint makes me feel like the Mad Hatter. But I fear not, because no truth can stay hidden forever, and in due time it will be society that measures, and fairness and justice will rule over greed, and everyone can have all the things that they need, and you won't be judged on your creed or your colour, but based on how much you love one another. I beg you don't forget that we have the power to change, and that nothing is lost until you turn away. The sun will come up and bring about the new day, because paying in blood is just no way to pay.